Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to 31 Days of Pomp-o-Ween. If you're new here and don't know what I'm talking about, then welcome. My name is Pompberry, and this month I'm posting one Halloween tutorial a day to celebrate Halloween. If you were here yesterday, you might have guessed what today's video would be, and that is the cover of Diablo 2. For a quick little recap, Diablo is basically the main reason I grew up playing video games and became a huge nerd. My older brother and my dad would play Diablo and I would watch them play, and then when I grew up a little bit, I started playing it myself, and that led to playing other games as well. And so I thought I would do a tribute to this series of Blizzard games that basically formed the person that I am today. Diablo 2 was definitely the favorite in the household. It was played for years and years and years in our household, and when I decided to do a Diablo look, I thought I can't just do one, I should just do all of them, including the third one, which isn't my favorite, but the design of the cover is actually awesome. So I guess I've spilled the beans. You know what tomorrow's look is. So if you liked yesterday's, if you like today's, then be sure to come back tomorrow because it's gonna be awesome. So I'm gonna jump straight into it. I've already covered up my brows with glue stick. If you don't know how to do that, then I'm going to leave a tutorial linked right up here that you can watch. But before I begin, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And be sure to hit that bell button so that you can be notified every time I upload. As I said, this month I am uploading every single day. After that, not so much, probably back to once or twice a week. But for October, I'm uploading every single day. The design for this look is going to be interesting because it's a skeleton, but not quite, because he still has kind of like lips around his teeth. But other than that, it's pretty much a skeleton face. And to make things easier for me, I took a face chart that was basically just a photo of my face that I traced my features on Photoshop, and then I took the cover and pasted it on top so that I could see where everything lined up with my face. So that's going to make things easier for me, and I'm going to base myself off that. I'm going to start by taking my wolf face paint palette, and I'm going to take the orange so I can start mapping out the face. This is a water activated palette, so you just have to drop some water in it, and you're good to go. I'm going to start out by mapping out the eyes. The brow area comes down pretty low. It actually comes under my own eyes. So I'm gonna try to make that happen. And I'm using a water-based paint so that if I make mistakes or if I need to adjust anything, I can just erase it with a little bit of water on a Q-tip, and that's it. So I'm just roughly sketching in the eye sockets. Right now it looks like I'm drawing on glasses, but it'll make sense later. Then the nose actually lines up pretty well with mine. The proportions of this face actually match mine pretty well, which is a little surprising. And then I can start mapping out the rest. So as I said, he kind of has lips and he's smiling. My smile doesn't really look like his, but we're gonna try. Ooh, and I'm gonna be using something really cool to stain my teeth today. So I'm really excited about that. It's a product I've never used before, but I've been wanting to try for a really long time. Just drawing in the bone. So as I said, it's basically like a skull makeup, but then he's got lips, so it's like, Or, I mean, it's not really lips, it's just like skin around the mouth area. Like he hasn't decomposed fully. Then I'm gonna have to fake my jawline because he's got a very skinny jaw. So I'm going to black all this out to pretend it's not there. Then he's got a little butt chin. And then I don't have to worry about the forehead because he's wearing a hood and it's all blacked out, so I'm just going to fill this in with black later. I've been looking everywhere and I can't find a grease paint or a cream paint that's actually orange. I don't have any. I just have red and yellow, and I tried mixing up some colors, but I couldn't get the exact tone that I wanted. And then I tried to find the color I wanted in lipsticks and I couldn't find it. So I'm going to try to go in with the Ritual Defeat Inner Glow Cream Pigment in the color Delirium. I use this as blush a lot, so I'm gonna try it out and see how I feel about it. So I'm just gonna take it on a flat brush and I'm gonna start kind of shading this in. And this is way more translucent than a grease paint, so I don't know if this is gonna work out, but you know what? We're here to try stuff. Just starting off by shading it all in, starting to give it dimension and volume and whatnot, or trying to anyway. And this is a good color, but I feel like it's really too translucent for what I want. At least now I smell like lavender, because all of the Ritual Defeat products smell like lavender. It's amazing. If you hate lavender, then sorry. But also, how could you hate lavender? Then I'm going to take my Makeup Forever color stick in the color M400. It is the yellow, and I'm going to use that to start highlighting. I'm going to mix it in with that orange to try to give it more opacity. Then I have to try to create this brand new brow area, which is much lower than my natural brow. I'm gonna cover the brow with this yellow, even though it isn't that light in this area, but I'm just using this to cover up my hairs a little bit, my little brow hairs. Then the chin, gotta do the edges of the cheekbones too. You can obviously take this makeup and just adapt it and just do like a random skeleton. You know, it doesn't have to be from Diablo. You can do this in different colors or, you know, just play with it. Then I'm going to take my Makeup Forever Flash palette and I'm going to go in with the brown. I'm going to take that onto the new jaw. Now this is going to be darkened even more into black. There's going to be some orange running through this, but I'm doing the base of it in brown. Shading the chin area, doing the little butt chin. You can see this already shaping up to look pretty cool. Skull makeups, when done right, you can do them really fast and make it look pretty dope. I'm gonna shade my lip as well. I kind of love that today's makeup is super minimal. I don't have to do my forehead, don't have to do my body. It's just a small part of my face. It's a nice change of pace. Then I can start shading the eye area too. Don't want to get into detailing just yet, but can do little shadows here and there. Oh shit. Just dropped a bunch of grapes on the ground. Now because I want a more intense yellow, I'm going to take the NYX Liquid Suede liquid lipstick in the color Orange County, and I'm mixing a drop of Club Hopper into it just to tone it down a little bit because it's a really bright orange. So I've mixed the two together and it looks a little something like this. So it's just slightly more toned down. And I'm going to go over all the areas that I really want to be orange. This is going to be mostly orange, I'd say. The yellow is just supposed to be a few highlights here and there. Maybe should have gone with this little concoction first, but you know, just trying something out. And going back in with yellow if necessary. Now I'm going to take the Makeup Forever color cream in the color M100. It's the black. I'm going to get my brush wet for this just so it's a little bit easier to spread around. And I'm just going to start blacking out the perimeter of my face. Now this is by no means done, but I want to get started with the black. And being very careful defining this edge. And up here, it's just the whole forehead. I'm going to slowly blend that. It reaches all the way down here, actually. My other brush to help blend this out. Oh, it's looking pretty dope. Then I'm also going to take the black and fill in my eye sockets. Taking a smaller brush for this so that I can be more precise with the application. Then I also have to do my nose, and the nose is quite easy. It's like an upside down V shape. But I have to line it up with my nostrils so that my nostrils get hidden in the design. And I'm going to take a small lip brush so that I can really be precise with this. Then I'm also going to paint inside my nose so I can hide the nostril. Oh, it's so uncomfortable, but it is necessary so that it all becomes one thing and you can't see where my nostril is. I'm also going to do my neck. And don't forget your ears in case they show up under the hood. At least the bottom of your ears are more likely to show up, so I always like to paint that. Now I'm going to take that little lip brush again, and I'm going to start shading in with black inside the actual face area. Trying to hide my lips as much as possible. He basically just has flesh around the teeth. It's not like actual lips. There's definite separation here between the jaw and the upper part. And I'm kind of just dabbing the paintbrush to give some texture because this drawing has a lot of texture to it. I'm probably going to go in with a texture sponge at the end to kind of give everything even more texture. And just kind of making that outline blend into the black, where you kind of don't know exactly where it starts. There's like a little thing. And then I can really perfect the eye shape as well. There's some like texture right here. It's like little specks. Now I think I'm going to powder this all down and then do some further detailing with water activated face paint. So I'm just going to take some translucent powder on a big powder puff and just set all of this down. Or actually, maybe instead of face paint, I'll use eyeshadow or a combination. I don't know. We'll see. I look hilarious. Then once that's had a little bit of time to set, I'm taking a brush and just pressing it into the skin to make sure that everything's really set, and then just dusting off the excess. I am all nice and mattified. Now I'm going to do further detailing with some eyeshadows, and I'm taking the Shroud Cosmetics Divinity palette. They used to be Shroud Cosmetics, they've rebranded. And I'm going in with the color Aphrodite. I'm going to start here on the side of my face. I think this is like the perfect color to just intensify all the shading. It's not quite red, it's not quite orange. It's kind of the perfect color for this. I'm just taking that wherever I feel like that color needs to be intensified a little bit. Can't wait to show this makeup look to my brother. He's a big fan of my makeup looks, but I have a feeling he's going to really like this one. And I like working with eyeshadows because you can kind of be more precise with the application and everything blends beautifully. So whenever I do work with cream colors, I always like to layer them with eyeshadows on top, or powdered products in general. I always find funny the stuff I end up using Shroud Cosmetics for. You guys know how much I use the Creepy Cute palette. I end up using it in way more looks than I think I'm actually going to. It was a big part of Halloween last year. It has been a big part of Halloween this year too. The eyeshadows are just honestly amazing. They're super, super pigmented. And the owner of the company is a dear, dear friend of mine. So I always like to support her company when possible. And if you're ever interested in getting anything from them, I do have a discount code. It is pompberry, and that will get you some money off, which is always nice. Now I'm going to take the color Freya from the same palette, and I'm going to further shade certain areas. These little guys here and here. Then I'm going to use that to shade around the eyes as well. Really applying it over the black here in the socket because I kind of want to soften that edge a little bit. Probably going to go in with a black shadow to do that even more. I'm also going to take that around the socket and anywhere that just needs intensifying even more. I love how I'm doing a hellish character with a divinity palette. It's pretty great. The irony is not lost on me. Up here as well. This is just going to give a richness and tone to the shadow. You can see how here it just looks a little gray and ashy, but if I add this color on top, it just warms it up and makes it a lot richer. Now to intensify some of the highlights, I'm going to go in with Sugar Pill, and I'm using Flame Point and Butter Cupcake. I'm going to start with Flame Point, which is the orange. And I'm just going to add that to certain areas that need brightening up, but not quite as intensely as with the yellow. Right the center here, the bottom of the eye sockets. Then I'm going to go in with Butter Cupcake, which is the yellow, and just intensify the highlighted areas. I'm going to use a different brush for this though, so I can really make sure the color isn't mixing in with the previous colors that I used on the brush. The way the camera is capturing this makeup looks really, really awesome. Sometimes the camera captures makeup a little bit differently than how it looks in real life. So it's nice when the camera is capturing it really, really well. Now I was almost forgetting to draw in the eyes because the final look I'm going to have my eyes closed and he has these bright, bright yellow dots for eyes. So I'm going to paint them over my lids. So to do that, I'm just going to remove some of the black that's there with a little makeup remover on a Q-tip. And I'm just going to roughly remove the makeup in the area where I'm going to paint them. And first I'm going to go in with a layer of the color stick, just kind of as a base, roughly where the eye is gonna sit. I'm gonna fix it up with some black later, and then I'm going to powder that with my translucent powder. Make sure it's really set. Then I'm gonna take the orange shadow and go over it. And now because I want the eyes to be the focal point, I want them to be super, super bright. I'm going in with the Suva Beauty Hydra Liner in the color Dance Party. It's a neon yellow. And I'm going to apply that at the center of the eyes. Wow, that is bright. And I'm going to wait for that to dry before I even open my eyes. I'm going to powder it before I open my eyes. But to be able to do that, I need to let it dry. And while I wait for that to dry, I'm going to go in with a black, start fixing up the top here, because I think it's too close to the top. And then I'm fixing up the bottom. Needs to be a little smaller. I think it's still a little too close to the top edge. So like that. I'm gonna wait for the black to dry now so that I can go back in with the yellow and just fix that up. Then once that's dry, another layer of powder just to make sure it's really set and it won't get messed up when I open my eyes. Now I'm just taking some black and kind of reducing the size of them. A great way to see how you're doing is by just taking a selfie with your phone, and then you can see both eyes at the same time and see what needs to be fixed. Now I'm going to take a black liner pencil. This one is the Urban Decay Glide On Slide On pencil in the color Perversion. It's just the black. And I'm just going to take that onto my waterline and around the roots of my lashes. I really want to work it in. I don't want to be able to see any sort of skin poking through when I close my eyes. Then since I was using Shroud Cosmetics before, I'm going to go in with the Creepy Cute palette, and I'm going to go in with the color Void. I'm going to take that and pack it into the black areas. So into the eyes, under. I'm taking it on a small pencil brush so that I can soften this edge here a little bit. Darken here. Also gonna darken this area right here and further darken anywhere that I shaded with the black. That just needs a little more intensifying. I'm also gonna apply that to my nose because this will really help to mattify it, and I don't really want any shine. Now remember how I said I wanted to add texture to this at the end? I'm taking a latex sponge and I'm just picking it apart to create a textured sponge. And I'm going to take my Wolf palette and I'm going to use the brown and the black, mix them together to add some texture to everything. And I'm going to start off on the chin. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's perfect. I'm just going to kind of add that all over because he's got this texture kind of all over. I'm going to use it to kind of help with this blend as well. If it's a little too strong, you can just kind of pat it a little bit before it dries. And then since I'm here, I'm going to take the black from the palette and I'm going to draw the two cracks that he has. One's right here. It goes up. Just gonna kind of lightly pat that. And the other one is right here. It goes a little something like that. It looks like there's like another little one right here, a little one here. Then I'm just darkening this around the eyes because it got a little too covered up with eyeshadow. Still want it to be quite dark. Now one thing that is totally optional, but the cover of the game, the actual box it comes in is embossed, so it has texture to it. And so I found a reference picture that highlights the embossed areas, and so I'm gonna do little highlights that kind of mimic that, just because I think it will really add a nice detail to this makeup look. Usually doing like little final highlights is a really nice touch. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that with the Wolf white face paint. I'm taking that on a small liner brush. This is a paintbrush, and I'm gonna do it only in certain areas. See how it just adds like a little pop of something. I'm gonna do it around the chin, around the jawline, and then I'm also gonna do it here. Also gonna do it around the nose, just a touch, and I think that's pretty much it. Here around the mouth. Oh, that tickles so much. And that's it for the little highlights. And now it's time for the teeth, which I'm super excited for. So if you've seen my other videos where I color in my teeth, I usually use alcohol activated paints, and that's one way to do it. But there's a relatively new product on the market called Mouth Effects, and it looks amazing. I've been dying to try this. I've just never really had an excuse to buy it. One bottle like this costs, I think, like $12, so it's not too bad. I got the color Down Brown. They have a bunch of different colors. They have red, black, green, yellow, two different types of yellow actually, orange, blue, and they all look incredible. I got brown because I thought it would be the most versatile. I thought it would go really well with this look, but I could also pair it with other ones. And basically, you just swish it in your mouth and that's it. And it stains your teeth and your gums and your tongue. So maybe don't do this before like going out or something. But since I'm in for the night, I'm gonna use this. So you just need a few drops from what I saw. I shook it up. Now, oh my God. I think I put too much. It tastes like mint. It's so minty. It's so nice. Oh my God. And I used a lot. Oh, but this is so cool. And you can't see my tongue because I used a lot of product. I feel like I need to spit some out, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I spit out the excess, and now you kind of can see my tongue, and you can see my teeth a little bit more. So you can control the amount that you use. If I want to intensify it, I can obviously just take a little more, but you saw a few drops did this. Might actually add a little bit more. Oh my God, that looks so cool. Okay, I'm gonna go get my wardrobe on and then I'll come back to show you the finished look. And this is the finished look. It's weird trying to figure out how to smile because if I just smile normally, this becomes way too wide and his is still very narrow. So I kind of have to like pucker up and then just like, it's really weird. I think the really cool thing about this Mouth Effects product is that it also tints your gums and your tongue and your saliva. So this is going to be a little gross, but if you pull up your saliva is colored, so it kind of keeps the color going in your mouth. And it makes things extra gross. So if you're going for a really scary costume, I recommend getting one of these, and then you can just touch up throughout the night by just adding a little drop here and there. As I said, they've got black, they've got red, which looks like blood, and it's super awesome. But anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this look. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I think this is a pretty universal makeup that you can just take it as a creepy skull makeup. You can definitely incorporate this look into other costumes, but I did want to pay homage to Diablo 2. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. The proportions aren't 100% like his. I feel like the top of his face is a bit wider than mine, but it's fine. I still really like the way it came out, and I hope you did too. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to all my patrons who support me and made Pomp-o-Ween possible. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow for another day of Pomp-o-Ween. I'll see you then. Bye.